Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakah Kadash, the one is the elder apostles of Great Most Son, Roma, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, Syrian truth, pushing the word to the four corners. Yeah, you got, once again, Trump, talking, chatting, Nero just chatting about, essentially coming down with greater force, than he's utilized so far. So I'll just read it. It's on the New York Times. It says what Trump says he is prepared to send more than the National Guard into U.S. cities. In a speech to American troops assembled in Japan on Tuesday, President Trump said he would escalate his orders to active duty branches of the military if he decides it's appropriate. Yeah. So, rather than just National Guard, might see some Marines, Navy, who knows? And the thing is, as well, is he's already pushed forward with that anyway. Like, this is the guy that's cracked out the National Guard, and ICE has functionally been funded supremely to do legendary work going forward, and same for Palantir, which is the technology arm as far as handling a lot of these things he's looking to do. So, these things are underway, so that's not really a marvel for further escalation. So it says, President Trump told American troops assembled in Japan on Tuesday that he was prepared to send more than the National Guard into cities and enforce his crackdowns on crime and immigration, further escalating how he has talked about using the military at home and abroad. Speaking to thousands of military service members aboard an aircraft carrier at the Yokosuka naval base in Japan on Tuesday, Mr. Trump delivered a partisan speech that resembled the raucous rallies that made him a descendant force in US politics. But throughout his nearly hour-long speech, his usual ramblings about the physical appearance of audience members and steam-powered catapults were laced with dark warnings about how he might choose to deploy military forces. We have cities that are troubled. We can't have cities that are troubled, Mr. Trump said. And we're sending in our National Guard. And if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard, because we're going to have safe cities. And yes, it's not specified to just migration, just, gang violence, it's broadened to safe cities. And it's, from the onset really of it, it's basically been a vague application of, okay, we need to resolve these issues. And essentially, the scope and scale of what's going down is high enough to where it's necessary for him to have to take such action. But then what does it say? Legal disputes over what troops under federal control may be used to do on domestic soil, like a bar on using them to enforce a law, except when there is an insurrection. Treat National Guard troops under federal control and active duty troops as the same. Mr. Trump also defending the U.S. military strikes against what the administration has said are suspected drug smugglers. The tactics have drawn widespread rebuke from experts who've said it's illegal to use the military to target civilians, including criminal suspects who are not directly participating in hostilities. Yeah, because he's as far as underneath him, he's centralized a lot of things, a lot of the power into where it's an extension of him, and he can kind of just utilize, these powers and have the military do what he needs to do, and then even, constitutional rights and these things, or things that will pass into law prior, uh, like birthright, citizenships, things come up as well. These things are on the wane, man. Because why? This guy's, he's that tool, man. He's that force that's going to be used to push us forward, which you can see as far as getting, you know, uh, Navy SEALs, U.S. Marines, what's another branch of the American military, getting the fucking Air Force involved, getting the Air Force involved in what do you call it, taking this place out, taking those different cities out, especially where Jake's at. It shouldn't be a marvel, man. What does it say? So skipping down a little bit, it says Mr. Trump has long sought to make greater use of the military on domestic soil. In his first term, especially during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests that sometimes devolved into rioting, he was restrained by his advisors. In the 2024 campaign, he vowed to use the military to help crack down on immigration and deploy troops into Democrat-run cities. Yeah. Which, it's been fulfilled, man. So, yeah. It's, it's really not a marvel that these things are, are happening. But then it's a scale. And how far is it going to go? So I saw this, what's his face? Fucking, Tucker Carlson and there was the other guy called Nick Fuentes. That fuck. I was listening to a little bit of them sitting down and talking, and they're talking about the escalation of the back and forth between ICE agents, National Guard, and people resisting it, and they're saying like we just need to go in there and blow them up, or just send in the troops, and that's really where it's gonna end up, man. Clearly looking at that's just where things are gonna end up. So the prophecy says, man. 2 Esdras 15 and 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." And yeah, the houses of cities are going to be locked down, man. And you're already seeing how that's going to manifest presently, because you have all these different cities where now, it started with DC, and it's gathered abroad to where, like they said, the California National Guard was activated to go in and make maneuvers and whatnot, get in there, start cracking skulls. That's it's swiftly becoming a normal, and this is still year one of DJ Trump, and it's still year one. So what that's gonna escalate to or be pushed towards, going into year two and going forward, remains to be seen, man. It's gonna be fucking wild. For sure, for sure. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah. Great tribulation, man. Them troublesome times. It's gonna be felt all around, just like now, really, with the the impacts of the economy, cost of living crisis, these things. Everyone's feeling it. And then how much more, how much more so? Consider what, the the military is not meant to get involved on, unless it's insurrection. Resisting ICE, resisting our National Guard troops that can functionally be factored in as insurrection. You're resisting the federal government. So yeah, we'll see how it pushes. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.